excited about.
Okay, I would suggest, excuse me, a bolster, a blanket if you enjoy a blanket, and a couple of blocks. We are on a series right now based on the chakras. And the chakras are the energetic centers of the body. There's 7 main ones. We're on the 3rd. So all week we've been talking about the 3rd one. The first one was the root chakra. It was connected to the earth element, all about our sense of belonging, sense of safety, security, survival skills, our family roots, group identity. And then we moved up to the 2nd chakra, which is about more emotional identity, sexual identity, working one-on-one type of relationships, as well as career and money and polarity, sensitivity, intimacy, those sorts of things. And the element was water. Now we've entered the 3rd, and it's everything from the navel up to the breastbone. So within this midsection of the body, we have all the digestive organs. And we talk about the inner fire of digestion. Well, in yoga, we call Agni. But from a spiritual standpoint, it's the inner fire of transformation. Because it's not just about what we're consuming and digesting and assimilating. We do that with our food to fuel us with energy. But it's also how are we consuming, digesting, and processing life and life experiences and the things that come our way. So I want you to think about how we come into this world, right, with that group identity, kind of with the family unit, and we're being programmed and we're being conditioned and we're being taught certain things. And then we move up into the individual level and we start to develop relationships outside of the family, right? More with our peers or with a partner or with coworkers, things of that nature. When we get up to the 3rd chakra, this is considered the seat of the ego. This is the place where we break away from our family and group identity. We break away from the peers and the peer pressure and that sort of thing. And we start to come into our own individuality. So with this being said, this is our place of power. We can either be empowered or disempowered. We can be controlled, or we can be the controller, or we can maintain a sense of control for ourselves, right? It can go a lot of different ways. So when we're balanced, we have a sense of who we are. We're very independent. We have our free will to make free choices. And with that being said, this is where we're being hit right now. This is where the world is getting hit right now, right? Last year with the pandemic and everything shutting down, that was foundation. Knocked us off our feet, sends you back home. And then we started getting affected monetarily, right? Businesses closing businesses being affected monetarily. And we had to watch our spending. We had to watch where we were getting our supplies, all this sort of thing. And now we're being hit here. Can't we see this playing out right now? Think about just the vaccine alone. I'm not getting political with this. I'm just stating a fact. There's a certain group of people that are pro-vaccine, pro-science. They're going to preach it. They're going to do it, and they're going to be all for it. And then there's that separate group of people that are like, absolutely not. I don't believe in this science. I've heard too much. I have this theory about it. My intuition is telling me no. For whatever reason, right? And then you have a third group of people that's like, my intuition's telling me no. It's not really about science to me, and it's not about politics or being scared of it. This is about an individual choice, and I want my own medical freedom, my own free right to choose for me what I want. This is all 3rd chakra stuff. This is where we're being hit right now. So I want you to consider this 3rd chakra being the place of your personal will, freedom, and power. I mean, really, that's what this energy center is about. And we're all going to fall in step with our own way of thinking. And hopefully, we will learn how to respect other people's thinking. Because this here is the lesson. This is the lesson. So we're going to talk about the fire that's invoked from abdominal work that we do. Earlier this week, we focused on more of the transverse abdominis muscles. We did a little bit with the rectus abdominis muscles, which is the contraction. We did a little bit with the twist, which is about the side obliques. And we're going to be focused on all of those again today. A little bit more emphasis with the twist, though. So let's go ahead and begin. Let's start sitting upright. And I would suggest sitting on a bolster. It just makes it more comfortable for the spine and for the hips. And we're going to place the hands right at the solar plexus. This is the third chakra, what's called Manipura. And we're going to do what's called breath of fire. It's short and sharp exhale through the nose. You don't have to think about inhaling, it will naturally come. You're going to find your own rhythm with it. It could be slow, moderate, or fast. It looks like this. And so let's begin. Think about stoking your inner fire. Three, two, one, relax a moment. Second round, breath of fire. This also helps to detox the stomach, can strengthen some of the abdominal muscles. It expresses the air out of the lungs, any impurities that are held at the base. And it can increase the temperature of the body. 3, 2, 1, relax. We're just going to do one more. Last round, breath of fire. Three, 2, and 1, and relax. Put your hands to your lap, close the eyes. Any sense of heat or sensation that you may feel swirling in the belly, magnetize it and draw it up towards the third eye. Now, the third eye is considered the center of intuition. But think about intuition is sometimes what we feel in our gut. The gut is even considered the second brain. Now, inhale, lift your arms up to goddess arms. Keep your elbows as high as your shoulders, and you're going to start to twist one way on your inhale, the other way on the exhale, so this is a quicker breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. So the twist helps to rid the lactic acid from the muscles. It helps to stretch the muscles that attach to the spine. It helps to trim the weights. It helps to do the squeeze and soak effect to the abdominal muscles, organs, and glands. And it helps to cleanse our lungs, our respiratory system. This can be energizing, which is why twists are really good for the third chakra, because third chakra is about our responsibility, the right to act, self-motivation. Come back to center, relax the hands to the left. Again, any sensation or heat that you may feel in certain pockets or swimming around, see if you can draw it up to the third eye. Basically, you're just setting your attention at the third eye. The energy will naturally rise up in that direction because that's where you're putting your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. Open the eyes. The last thing I want to say about the center before we move on, the trauma that affects this third chakra is exactly what we're seeing happening in Afghanistan. Authoritarianism, terrorism, violence, control being imposed. That's what's happening right now across the world. So let's come down to the belly. When we come down onto the abdomen, we're gonna split the feet apart. So the legs are separated. And that's what happens with third chakra energy. We start to separate ourselves out from the masses. Bring the arms across in front of you and come down to your breath. When you come down to rest on the brow, close the eyes. And I want you to notice where your weight is mainly resting on the floor. Your midsection, your abdomen. And then being face down, start some diaphragmatic breath. Using the diaphragm muscle to control the breath. Putting your own will behind it. So that when you're breathing in, you're feeling your belly expand and grow, ballooning out and pressing into the floor. And as you exhale, you're seeing the belly soften and slightly retract away from the ground. So the reason why we feel movement here in our core as we breathe this way is for two reasons. One reason is the diaphragm muscle parachutes up and down from the base of the ribs. But the diaphragm muscle has an attachment to these digestive organs. And when that muscle is expanding, the inner organs have to shift and move a little out of the way. And then they come back to their placement on the out breath. So this is why we're feeling more movement here. And this type of breath work and having some compression helps to knead or massage these inner organs. So think about throwing into this imaginary ball of fire that we have in the fire pit of the belly. Think about throwing in the impurities, the toxins, the tension, the stress, the things that we no longer need, things that we've outgrown, even any limiting beliefs. Throw it into the fire. And on your next inhalation, I want you to send your left arm out to your left side. Slide your right hand in as you turn to your left ear. Push away from your right hand so you're rolling to your left side body, and then bend and stack the knees. When you bend and stack the knees, you're going to slowly uplift your right knee away from your left. So you're fanning the right knee up towards the sky. This is a clam pose. Now you're lifting that right knee to the degree where you may feel your limitation or in a catch from the external rotator of the hip. The catch may be in your piriformis. It could be the edge of your glutes. We're also stretching out the left arm and shoulder. So we have second chakra work with the hips. We have third chakra stuff with the twist. And fourth chakra happenings with the work in the shoulder and arm. Take one more deep breath. Now release the right knee back down. Slide your legs out, come to rest on your chin, extend your right arm out to your right side, slide your left hand in, turn to your right ear, roll to your right side, bend your knees next. Once the feet are stacked, inhale, lift the left knee, opening the clam. So this is a version of broken wing. This is the more gentle version of the pose. If you know another variation, you're welcome to take it. The eyes can be open or closed. Exhale, bring the left knee down, straighten out through the legs, roll onto your belly. And this time you're sliding your forearms towards each other. The elbows are going to stack underneath the head of the shoulder bones. You're lifting up to splits. Splay out through the fingers, lengthen back through your leg bones, through the top portions of your feet. Keep your heels parallel with each other, and notice the more you put action in your legs, the more you're going to feel the action in your glutes. The more you press down and create the action through your arms, the more you're going to feel the lift of your heart and the lift of the abdomen. That whole expression, when we root, we rise, applies even in the postures. Take one more deep breath. And then we're going to engage the core. So we're going to curl the toes under and lift the knees off the ground. And then we have to ignite the core to lift the belly off the floor. The thighs are hugging in, the belly's hugging in. Take one more deep breath. And then exhale, lower to the pubic bone. Untuck the toes. Create a fist. And then sink your thumb inside your four fingers. You got it. Now, you may or may not find this easier. Typically, this one's a little easier with the fist for some reason. Curl the toes under, lift the knees. It may not apply to you. You may look at me and go, no, the other way was better. Now, see if you can lift. Stay long and stay strong. And then exhale, lower back down to the pubic bone, untuck the toes. Good, you're gonna come to the forearms again with flat palms. You're gonna shift your hips back and crawl your knees forward. Once you crawl the knees forward, we're gonna take a dolphin position. You're pressing down through the forearms so that you get a little ignition in your triceps, in your shoulders, and then curl the toes. And lift the knees off the floor to dolphin. Now in dolphin, the head actually hovers. And I want you to focus on extending long through the spine so that you have a long open belly. And then exhale, descend your knees. Bring the palms together, lace the fingers together, curl the toes under. And when you're ready, you're going to lift up to this form of dolphin. Now, to me, I find this one to be a little easier. You're pushing back away from your hands. You're lengthening up and out of the shoulders, up and out of your side ribs, up and out of your sits bones. Keep the abdomen wide open. And then exhale, descend to your knees. All right, now we're going to come to a tabletop position. Something you're more familiar with, downward facing dog. Now taking downward facing dog, create the length through the arms, the length through the vertebrae, the nice open spaciousness in the belly. And focus on, is it better for your belly to have that big open expansive space? with your legs straight or knees bent. It's okay to have the knees bent in order to open up the whole belly. Sometimes the tight hamstrings can get in the way and curl the tailbone under, which makes a cinch in our stomach. That's what I want you to focus on here. And now walk your hands back towards your toes. Land your heels and bow over and down. Let your head and your neck go. And you're probably just kind of folding in half. So remember, third chakra is about action, okay? So we're gonna put pressure down through the feet. So drill the feet down into the floor so that the legs are more active and strong. And more than likely, your belly is soft and kind of spilling over. So draw and hug the belly in and allow those muscles to support the stretch you're receiving in your low back. On your next in-breath, slide your hands up to your shins, lengthen out through the spine. Notice if your belly is sagging or if it's hugging in. Try to hug it in. One more breath in Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, fold down. Walk your hands out in front of you, coming down to your knees. And this is our first restorative pose. We're going to bring the bolster out in front. We're going to slide it in between our thighs. And I want your belly to lay down upon it. And take restorative child's position. You can turn to rest on one cheek. You can spread out your arms. Most people's belly touches the bolster, but if you're in a position where it's not, I would put a blanket so that your belly is resting on a prop. So very similar to what we were doing in crocodile pose, massaging and kneading the other organs and glands. Just with the pressure and the power of the breath. So at this point, surrender and allow yourself to move into stillness. While you're here, I want you to invite these affirmations into your mind. I am confident and capable. I am strong, powerful, confident. I choose to stand in my power. I honor the power within me and am directed by my intuition. I have the right to act and to choose for myself. Gently turn to rest on your other cheek. Maybe take a few breaths to settle back in. Firm, confident, capable. I'm strong, powerful, confident. I have the right to act. I have the right to follow my gut. Next inhale is gently coming up. And slide that bolster away. We're going to come up to a tabletop position. And from our tabletop position, we're going to extend the right leg off to the right side of the body. We're going to ground down through the left hand and the left shin and foot and circle that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, take that right arm down and thread it underneath your left side waist. And then inhale, fan it back up towards the heavens. We'll do that twice more. Exhale, loop it under the side leg. Inhale, return to the twist. Last one. And this time, inhale, remain in stargaze. I'm very excited. I was researching Sedona like in depth the last couple of days. I'm leading a yoga retreat there next week. And it's one of the few cities in the entire world that purposely cut down light pollution so that the stars are available in the evening. Perfect place to go stargaze. Exhale, bring the right hand down. We're still working the core, so we're going to lift the right leg off the floor. And we're going to slowly take it back behind us. You're reaching back through your heel, toes point downward, and the belly's hugging in. The belly's going to be your stabilizer as you extend the left arm forward and out. Breathe. And exhale, return to tape. Now you're going to flip your left palm open. Spin to your left. Thread the left arm under. And then we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, spin to your left. Exhale, loop the arm under, sinking down towards the floor with your head. One more, inhale, coming up. Exhale, now remain in your twist. So once you bend your right arm to bring the head and the ear towards the floor, if you can't quite come down, you're welcome to take a bolster or a block so that you can find a place to rest your head. And take time to make sure you're using your core. So your whole belly's hugging in towards your back body, pressing lightly through the right hand to roll towards the left shoulder blade. We're pressing into and stretching out the back of the left shoulder, the intercostals, mixed in with the left side of your ribs. And since you're all basically turned this way, I'm gonna right over here real quick. Give you a visual. If you're good as you are, you don't have to really do anything else. But if you want to try to stabilize and balance using your third chakra, you can stay and thread the needle to pick up your right leg and power out through the sole of the foot. And if you roll over like a domino, just laugh at yourself. Laughter is good medicine for the third chakra. Think about belly laughs. Having a nice sense of humor gives you a sunny disposition. One of the good qualities of this energy field. Good, lower the right knee. Unthread the left arm. All right, that same sequence to the other side. So the left leg will extend out, flatten the foot. Stargazer on the inhale. And then thread and loop that arm under your side waist on the exhale. Do that a few more rounds. I mentioned earlier this week, and I want to mention it again, if you have more limitation in your low back, that's generally first, second chakra issues. If it's your mid back, it's usually third or fourth chakra issues. Upper back is generally fourth and fifth. Now hold, Stargazer. So I want you to consider what I mentioned earlier. If we're moving up the chain of the chakras, we're born in a group identity in a family unit. We break away at the second chakra to form our own personal relationships with peers and partners. We move up to the third to develop our own individuality, our own independence. But that's not where we stop. That's all just physical. When we move to the heart, and I want you to hear this and it to give you hope, the heart is the place of integration. It's where the opposites come together to create harmony and balance. So just trust that we're on a good trajectory. And once we get the muck of the third chakra with what's happening in the world, we're going to move up to the heart. And when we enter into the heart, we can be led towards universality. We can be coming back into wholeness. All right, exhale, bring the left hand down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lift the left foot up. And then take it back behind. All right, now, if the leg lifts higher than the hip, it's going to make your belly sag and your low back sway. We don't want that. We want the belly to be the engagement here. And this way, we can stabilize and soar the right arm forward and out, opposite limbs, extending away from our center. You should feel warm heat in the belly if you're doing this correctly. Exhale to table. All right, back to twist. Inhale, right arm reaches out and up. Exhale, thread and loop it under, thread the needle. All right, 2 more rounds. We're adding a movement. We're taking action. And then this final one, we're going to move into stillness. And even though we're moving into stillness, we're still maintaining the action in the core. The pressing into the left hand, the rolling towards the right shoulder blade, the control of the breath. When we learn how to master the breath, we can become more masterful of the self. Okay, third chakra is about choices, the freedom of choice. And you have that right here to stay here with both knees on the floor. Or if you want to opt to extend your left leg, lift your left leg up and out. Spread the toes even. Balance and breathe. And exhale, release. And thread the right arm. And we're coming back to forearms. All right, we're about to go into a restorative twist. Okay, but we're going to do one more active twist. We're going to lace the hands together. And you may want to look at me for an example because we have not done this in a pretty long time. Okay, I don't think I've done this since the pandemic, actually, until today. So what we're going to do, we need to kind of create a little bit of a cat stretch in the upper back. And that involves engaging the belly, engaging the triceps, engaging the deltoids. We're going to keep the head off the floor. It's back to dolphin. But what we'll do is we'll tiptoe the feet over to one side, tiptoe back across the mat to the other side. So we're getting the twist in dolphin, and then we'll come back and release. So let's go ahead and lace the hands. Engage that little upper cat stretch with your abdominals, triceps, deltoids, upper back. That's great, Mary. Now tuck the toes, lift your hips, come to dolphin. The head hovers, it stays afloat. And then tiptoe over to one side of your mat. Keep your hips up, keep your heels up. The higher the heels of the feet, the higher the hips, which brings more length to the belly and spine. Okay, tiptoe across to the other. This is our big pose today, you guys. If you can make it through this, you're in your home stretch. All right, bring it back to the mat and sink to the knees. All right, done with that. Come to sit-ins. Take your legs out in front. You will need a block eventually. Not quite yet. So when we come down to the back, what we're going to do, I'll give you a visual. The feet are going to power down into the floor. We're going to tuck the tailbone and lift the hips and elevate the arms. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the arms to circle back around and lower to the hands and sacrum. Okay, it's a simple bridge flow. So walk your ankles under your knees. Have your palms flat beside your thighs. When you're ready, inhale, circle the arms up, rise to bridge. And as you exhale, slowly roll it down, one vertebra at a time. And then you're going to continue that flow of movement. But remember, when you're doing the movement, it's not just about body mechanics. If it's body mechanics, it's just exercise. We're working with these chakras, right? It's all about not just what it's physically governing, but what it holds mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So let it be a mind-body practice. Now, the next time you're getting ready to come up, keep the arms beside you, find a block, rise to bridge, and then you're going to slip the block up underneath the sacrum. Then you're welcome to turn the palms open. So if this is more receptive, you're welcome to close the eyes. So this pose is actually really good for the spleen. It's good for other things too, but since we're talking third chakra, I wanted to mention that specifically. Keep the belly soft so it can mellow as you breathe. And I want you to consider this tidbit of information. These three lower chakras, the first, the second, and the third, can be looked at as being lower gears. They're important because they keep us grounded and engaged, motivated, and active. But we eventually break away. We eventually begin to evolve. Look at the third chakra as being a receiver, creator, and distributor of energy that allows you to be capable of handling whatever comes your way. Affirming, I am confident and capable. I am strong, powerful, and confident. I have the right to act, and I choose to stand in my power and honor my gut feelings. And this is where we're beginning to cool ourselves down as well. This position we're in helps to temper the fire. It's good for hot flashes. I want you to consider when we do too much, we burn out. Right? That's a third chakra issue. Just like we're tempering the fire and cooling ourselves down here, we also have to manage that in life. Let's take 3 more breaths. Now push down through the feet to tuck the tailbone so we lift the weight from the block, slide it from underneath, and roll it down, and then catch your knees for a counter pose. All right, so we're going to do a Vini yoga therapy kind of flow, and then we're going to lounge and twist. So at first, we're just going to roll to the left side body, keeping the knees bent and stacked. And then you're going to stack one hand on the other. Now, something I've noticed, if you have a tendency with your body, to not land your head to the floor when you're on your side like this. Think of using your blanket like a pillow. Like fold it long ways in half so that you have some support. And then when you're ready, you're going to inhale, lift your right arm skyward, and you're going to fan it to the other side of your body. And as you exhale, you're going to lift that right arm and carry it right back to where you started. Roll into the left temple. Inhale, opening into your twist. And exhale, exiting the twist. Monitor your breath. And maneuver in and out of the pose. And when you're coming in and out of the pose, try not to think too hard about structure, execution, or alignment. Vini Yoga is about function over form. Now, the next time you open into the twist, see if your right shoulder blade can come down to the ground. If not, slide your knees and feet lower until it can. Check in to see if you need any support for your legs. Maybe you want a block under your knees, or maybe you want a bolster in between the legs. Feels good here, just remain and breathe. Now, in order for us to transfer over to the right side body, I want you to grip in your belly. Once you tighten up the muscles in the belly, it's safer to unroll and draw the knees through center. Carry them to the right side and bring the left arm with you. And then stack one hand over the other. All right, Vini Yoga style, inhale. The left arm floats up and crosses to the other side of the body. And the exhale brings it all the way back where you began. And then that is our new flow of movement. So the left arm is just kind of light and airy. When you're taking the twist, you don't necessarily have to land the left shoulder. Just notice its natural range of motion here. Again, perhaps noticing where you get a little stuck or stagnant, and realize what's showing up in your body. This topic of energetic anatomy is so important for this reason. All right, the next time you open up, see if you can lower the left shoulder, and that may mean altering your leg position a little bit, so that you're capable of lounging and relaxing. And feel free to provide any props for assistance. Close and rest your eyes. Breathe up through the left side body. You can even see these stages of development even in infancy or in those early years, right? When an infant is just born, you're very dependent upon the caregivers. That's the first chakra dependency. And then eventually the baby starts to warm up and it's like, okay, I'll let the stranger look at me or hold me, right? They're starting to break away a little bit. And then as they're toddlers who start to gain their own independence, they want to run from you, right? In public. It's like, no, stay with me. But eventually we continue to grow and we realize, yes, relationships are important. A unification is important, but it'll come through the process. Gripping the belly to unroll. And this time, hug your knees in. A nice little counter stretch after the twist with the spine. Rock gently side to side. And then if you want to turn to one side of your body, we can actually set up these props for Shavasana. So we can roll to one side, you can grab your two blocks. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to, of course. You may want to restore to back bends. If you want to restore to back bend, just put the bolster underneath your spine. But I thought Stonehenge would be nice because it gives us some elevation for the legs and will bring the circulation into the pool of the belly here. Again, you have the right to choose whether you do this one or not, especially since we're on third chakra today. Rest your hands on your upper belly. Let your upper arm bones rest on the floor. If that seems like a task, send the hands to the sides.
Otherwise, be here and breathe into your midsection. Put all your focus and attention to your breath and to the movement that you feel beneath your hands. There's nothing else to do. Nowhere you need to go. Just be here now, in your body, with your breath.
Roll the knees in. Lovingly wrap your arms around. Rock gently side to side. Land to your favorite, and you're going to come up and sit on top of the bolster. Sitting on top of the bolster with your palms turned open on your lap, close the eyes. I want you to know that if you've been feeling burnt out, you're not alone. It's okay. Because you can be like a phoenix that rises up from the ashes. You have been feeling off kilter in this third chakra. Hopefully now you recognize the reason why it's happening all around us. I want you to imagine in the pits of your belly, it's a ball of fire, like the sun, glowing its radiance and radiating light above you and below you and all around. Gazing it up to the mind's eyes, if you were looking off into the distance towards the actual sun. The sun that gives us light, warmth, and energy. And place your hands lightly on your solar plexus. Recognize this is your inner sun. Be appreciative of the freedom of choice that you have. Be appreciative of your personality and your characteristics, your strengths and your weaknesses, all of what makes you your own unique self. Your own unique expression of the divine. You are a beautiful ray of light. Bring your hands now to prayer position at your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, Namaste. So much for coming. Next week, we're moving up to the Heart Chakra. Everybody loves the heart. But let me say Monday's a holiday. And I didn't think about it till this morning. So Jen and I have been in contact this morning. The Monday practice is going to be a combined practice. It's going to be a gentle, blissful flow. It's not going to be as strenuous, just blissful. And I am going to pepper in some restorative postures. It'll be an hour and a half. It's called the Labor of Love. And it'll be heart-centered. So
Same time.
9:30 to 11.
Oh, 9:30 to 11.
Yes, and you have to register because it's limited to 10 participants. Bye, Carlos. Thank you.
Okay, bye.